talking on the mic. Just give me a minute, guys. Okay. Oh, sorry. I'm just recapping. Okay, I haven't started anything. Is it audible now? I just unmuted myself. Okay. Okay. Now we are saying that TestNG is all about existing annotations. We have to just go and start. We have to just go and start using them. So what are the annotations we discussed? We are almost all discussed almost all the annotations, whatever we are having in the TestNG. Like mostly interview ask question, I said at the rate of before test and at the rate of before method, at the rate of after method and at the rate of after test. So before method and after method will execute every time before executing the test case and after executing the test case, right? So after before method, after method will execute for every test case. Any number of test cases you have, that many times both is going to execute. Before will execute and after also is going to execute. But when it comes to at the rate of before test, it is going to execute only. It is going to execute only one time before starting all your test cases, and one is after completing your test cases. And we also discussed about the suite, before suite and after, before suite and after suite. Before suite means before starting anything, it is going to execute. After suite means after executing everything, then it will go for executing the after suite. I said we don't use all of them. I said multiple times, we don't need to use all of them. We just need to use only few of them. It differs to project to project. It will mostly decided by architect. Architect will say before we use before suite, they will use the before suite. They say before test, they go for using the before test. Okay, it's up to you what you wanted to use. But from the interview point of view, most of the time, what is different? These two questions will come: before method, after method, and before test and after test. This question will definitely come from the interview point of view. And we also discussed yesterday that TestNG is going to take the annotations. TestNG is going to take the annotation. So annotations will take the parameters. Yesterday we discussed how to disable a test case. Disable a test case means I don't want to execute my test case. I don't want to execute my particular test case. What we have to do, just say enabled equal to false. If you just say enabled equals to false, what it is going to do, it is going to skip that particular test case. It will not execute that particular test case. Okay. And there are also multiple multiple parameters also it will take. Now example, let's say example, I'm writing at the rate test. Okay, I'll put one method called send an email. I'll put one method where I have write a coding to send an email. I'll put one more at the rate test. So here I would put void register an account. This is one more test case. One is for sending an email. Another one is for registering an account. Another one at the rate test. One more method I'm writing void login. So I'm writing one more method. So how many test cases you have total? 3 test cases. One is for send an email. Another one is register an account. Another one is login. I do not have, not more than 3 test cases. Now, which one it will execute first? From this, which one it is going to execute? Do you think it will go in one by one, top to bottom, or it will follow some criteria to execute? Is it going to follow any criteria? It will not. Okay. Do you think any ascending order or descending order? Will it go for any descending or descending? One by one, I know, but which one after which one? That is the question. Huh?
Which one?
Now, why I'm explaining this example? Because we have some concept called priorities. We have some concept called priorities. Yesterday, what parameter we have given? Enabled equal to false. But now, if I wanted to give priorities, you can also give priorities to your test case. So according to this example, first which one it should execute? Login. Without register, how can you log in? No, in general sequence, how we want it to execute. If you don't control, TestNG will control. It will do it on its own way. Based on my understanding, I think it will go with the ascending order alphabetical naming convention. That's what my understanding. So which one should execute first here? In this example, I want to control. I want to give the priorities. Which one should be top priority for me here? First, you need to register an account. If you can't register, you can't log in. If it directly tries to send an email, do you think it will work? It will not work because there is no user ID password. So first you have to execute register an account. After that it execute login. After that it should send an email. So I need to set the priorities. TestNG, as we discussed yesterday, it will take, is it clear? Are you guys able to hear me? Yeah, I think Pushpa, some issue with your end. Just try to log out and log in, okay? Now, @test will also take the priorities. @test will also take the priorities. So I can give, what is the top priority for me? First, this one execute. Then second one is this one. I would say priority equal to 1. And this one, I would say priority equal to 2. Maybe some spelling mistake, just ignore it. So priority 1, priority 2 means I'm giving priority 1 to the login. I'm giving priority to the login. Priority 1, priority 2 to send an email. I'm not giving any priority to this one. When you are giving some priorities, if you are not giving one priority, like 3 test cases, I have given priority for 2 test cases. I have not given any priority for, I have not given any priority for 1 test case. By default, it will consider topmost priority. So what it will add? It will add priority equal to 0. It is going to add priority equal to 0. That's what it is going to do. Okay. Yeah, I think someone raised hand. Yeah, Johnny, you can unmute yourself.
Sorry, you said debugging will explain today to remember you.
Debugging, I saw your message. I did not forget it. I still remember. Just let me give me a minute. I'll just give it right away.
Okay.
Just go to Google. They have given very detailed steps. Go to some website. Even they have given also videos. Also, you have. It is very simple. Just put it. They are giving very detailed step debugging in Eclipse. Just follow these steps. Okay, I'll just ping you this URL also. Nothing. First, what you need to do, you just have to put this toggle breakpoint. You can right click and select it, or you can even double click it. Let me go to the simple program. Which one? 930 Java examples. Not this one. Pack one. Okay. Functions. Now we know that whenever you call a function, it will go to the definition of the function. No, here also I'm calling. Now just double click here. You see, this is called toggle breakpoint. It's all, you guys can see it here, right?
Yeah.
Breakpoint is added. Once you run, whenever your program starts execution, wherever you are putting a breakpoint, from there your program will start into the debugging mode. So
Mm.
once you put the breakpoint, what they are saying, they are giving the shortcut keys. So you said they are saying debug as Java application. You just run it as debug as Java application. Then it will ask you, do you want to switch into debug mode? Click on switch. It will switch you into the debug mode, and then you will automatically get you have shortcut keys. You also have this top option, right? Step over. Step over means it will move on to the
Yeah,
next
yeah.
step. And they have given shortcut keys also for you. They have given shortcut keys. F8 means to resume. F5 means step into, execute the current line of the code and dives into the next line by line, step into. They already given this step over or step into, two options you have. Either you press it here on your shortcut key or go for using F7 or these keywords, right? Step over, execute the current line of the code and goes to the next line without stepping into any method calls. Example, I have a loop. Loop, I'm repeating it for 10 times. So if you press F5, it will be going inside the loop only for 10 times. So I know any loop will execute for 10 times because condition I have given. I don't need to press F5 10 times. Just step over. Step over means you want to come
Hello?
out of the loop and continue your next execution.
Hello?
Just use F6 button. Just use F6. It will step over directly out of the loop and continues with the next lines of the code. Sometimes, if you take an example, I'm calling length method. To get the length of the string, which method we have? Length method. We have a length method to get the length of the string. To get the length of the string, when I press F5, right? Where it will go to the definition of the length method, what they have written. We don't need to go to that level. If you want to read the coding, what they have written for the length, you go for F5 and then it will go to that length of the method. But if you don't want to go that level, length method to calculate the length of the string. So it will just go and get you the length. You don't want to go to that kind of things. That's what they are saying. It will go to loops and it will go to conditions and methods. So when I say system.out.println, what it will do? It will take you to the definition of the system.out.println, how they have written a code. We don't need to worry about it. So what is the major purpose of debugging? I think in this batch or previous batch? The major purpose of debugging is you wanted to know whether your line of code is executing or not executing. You wanted to know line of the code, whether it is executing or not. Example, I wanted to understand where it is going to add function. That's why I'm putting a breakpoint here. Now just run as, just debug as Java application. Now run it. See, when it is coming, it is highlighting the line. It is highlighting this particular line. What are the shortcut keys we have? We have shortcut keys called F5, F6 and F7. F7 steps back out of the current method and returns to the caller of the method. Now what I have to use here? F5. So step into. They also given the shortcut here, icons, step into. Just try to see where is step into here. It should be somewhere here. Next, previous, next, I don't know where it is coming in. Okay, anyway, I'll press F5, function F5. Where it is going? It is directly jumping into the add function. Why it is coming to the add function? Because I'm calling the add function here. I already told you whenever you call a function, it will go to the definition. You can understand it. Whenever you call it, where it is going? It's going to definition. If I press F5, what will happen? Let's left side upper. Where is that left side? Yeah, here. You have step in and continue, whatever you have, right? So just use the shortcut key. Function F5 would be. Now again, if I press F5, it will go to the next line. I know it is going to the function. I understand it is going. I don't want to go to every line of the function. If you want to go to every line of the function, go to pressing the F5. If I press F5, it will go to line number 17. If I press F5 again, after line number 17, where it will go? When you call a function, where it will go? It will go back to the same line. Now let me show you. Press function F5. function F5. See, it is going to the next line now. Press again where it will go. It will go to line number 8. I said multiple times, whenever you call a function, it will go back to the same line where you are executing. Just press again F5. Again, it's going to the same line number 8. Next, what we are trying to do, again F5. It is going to, so it is going this level. This is not needed. They're taking you inside of system.out.println method. Now to come out of it, function F6. Just, I don't know why it's not taking you out. These guys are giving step over. Now directly it's coming out of it. Now step in F5. I press the step 5. It will go to, it's going string builder and all. Okay, just press step over. So it's printing the sum. You can easily see whatever line it executed, it immediately giving you the results also. Then again, it's up to you. You want to use F5, step in or step over, whichever you wanted. You guys can go ahead and use it. Okay, that's all about the debugging. Nothing much. Again, you are calling, right? It executed. After that, again, I'm calling the function add. So where it is going? It's going to execute it. Just again, press step into. Again, it goes back to the definition. Now it will go to the print. What we are trying to do, I don't want to go to here. So just step over. That's all. It's printing this. That's about the debugging. Okay. Most of the time we use it whenever we are facing some difficulties. I'm not understanding why one line of the code is not executing. Sometimes it happens. We don't know why it is not going. That time we can debug it and try to understand till what line it is going, where it is terminating your program. Those situations you guys can go for using the debugging option. Okay. Done your debugging?
Then
Yeah, I'll give you this link also. They have given you in detail step by step also they have given. I'll put this link in the Google Class or not Google Class in the chat window. So everyone can just take it from there. Okay, now going back to the priorities in TestNG. So TestNG has the annotations. Annotations will take the parameters. Yesterday we used one parameter called enabled. Today we are using one more parameter called priority. Priority is used to define the priority of sequence of your execution of your test cases. How you wanted to control sequential way. Priority 1, priority 2, priority 3, etc. Whichever you wanted to use it, just go for using it. This is the example already written. So where is that? Priorities. I'm saying priority equal to login equal to same code. Whatever I explained here, instead of typing, first I explained the code, then I'm just trying to show you the same thing. I don't give the priorities and see what it is going to do. If you don't give the priorities, just click on run all. First, which one it is executing? Login. Then it is going to register. Then it is going to send an email. First login is executing, then register account, then send an email. So do you think it will work? First, if it goes to login, it will not work. So what should I do? I have to go for defining the priorities. So just give the priorities here. Now, if you give the priorities now, first one will be 0. Priority is 0. It is starting with priority equal to 0. It is going to execute the register account. Now what it is executed? First it executed login. After that, register account. After that, send an email. So that is how it is going to execute. Now run, which one it will execute? Priority 0. First it will execute register account, then it will go for login, then it will go for send an email. Just try to, let's see, run it from here. Okay. First it is executing what? Register account first, and after that login, then send an email. You can see the test cases also, which it is executing first. What it is executing first? Register, then login, then send an email. That's what it is trying to execute. Okay. So many are opened. This is called defining the priorities. Mostly asked question in interview. I wanted to execute test cases on priority basis. How do you define? So you can say that in TestNG we have we have priority concept for at the rate test. You can provide the parameter, that parameter called priority. By default, priority is going to start with 0. Example, I don't want to give any priority to this one. Now I already have 3 test cases. Out of 3 test cases, I have given priority for test case 1 and test case 2. By default, it still goes and execute register only, because by default, it is going to consider this as a 0. By default, it is going to consider this test case as a 0. Okay, just try to run it. It will still execute the same thing. Still executing the register first, login, and then send an email. Because if you're giving priority for two test cases, and one test case you are not giving any priority, it means by default it is going to consider it as a 0. By default, it is going to consider it priority equal to 0. Okay. Now, what will happen? You all are going to enter into what? Testing. What is a tester? Tester should be always in destructive manner. How to break it? Can I put 2 test cases with the same priority? No. How can you define 2 equal to same priority? Yeah, you can do this or you can do that. You cannot do both together, right? So priority means you can put only one priority. Let's see what will happen. I'll put this priority 2 to this test case also. Do you think it will give an error? Both I am putting priority 2. Both I am putting as a, what will happen? Is it giving any error? It is not giving any error. Which one will it execute? Generally, they should have implemented to give an error basically, but they have not implemented to show any error message here. Just try to run it. First, it is executing register. No. First, it is executing login. First, it is executing login, then register, then send an email. To which one we have given 2 priorities? Send an email, register. It is ignoring both. It is ignoring both. It is going to log in first. So if you are giving both, it will not even considering it. So you have to give it only one priority. I mean, you can play around, but not in real time of the project. It will not work. Okay. So set the priorities. Mostly asked question, how can I set the priority to execute my test cases? You can give the priorities. One parameter called yesterday enabled. Today we are talking one more priority called, one more parameter called priority. Now, can you all guys take one assignment? You all automated HRM login test case, right? Just can you guys make a note as an assignment? Automate HRM login test case. Automate HRM login test case using TestNG. Using TestNG. what you will do? If I say using test-ng, what you will have to do? At the rate test. At the rate test means it will consider it as a test case. It is going to consider it as a test case. Okay. Now, whatever practice you wanted to do, you guys can do practice using test-ng. Okay, forget about directly writing coding. Now, always go for using the test-ng because 90% of the project in the industry are running with the test-ng itself. Just try to use most practice with the test-ng itself. Okay, and this is called priorities. One priority. So now you don't want to give priority to this one and this one. Yeah, it will execute. So you are saying priority that time you have to put the priority. Okay, this one you can put priority equal to 0. This is the topmost priority for me. So first what it will execute login. See which one it is executing first. Login it is executing because this is the topmost priority. You don't consider all these things. I don't want to give any priorities, but this should be first execute. Then you can, there is no rule that you should give priority for all the test cases. Whichever is the topmost priority for you, you can just give that particular test case as one priority. If you wanted, you can do that also. Okay. Now you also have one more parameter called depends on. You have one predefined method, one more annotation which is called depends on. Now let's say I have to talk about depends on methods. This is one parameter, like enabled is one parameter, priority is one parameter, another parameter